Well, good morning, and we are at the women's workshop for our group session. Good morning for those of you who are here, and good morning for those of you who are online. If you are online, I would like for you please to put your hand up, put your electronic hand up, and I will see your questions. I will see your questions online. I will see your questions here. At the workshop, we do have this week for women only. We also have one for men, and we're going to get into that one because the Healing Center offers help for men, women, and children and teens. Today we're going to be discussing empowerment of women, healing the broken woman, and learning how to get your life back. We are going to discuss this. I want you to understand that all of our workshop is by donations. We only ask for the donation to keep up with having this always for the freedom of you to walk in on Fridays. Friday is a group session. Every week is not just for women. This week we made a special week to give attention to empowering women. And don't worry, gentlemen, we have one for you coming in just a few weeks. We want you to know that we just don't throw it up here for you. We actually, if we can, we want you to know just how important it is for your voice to be heard. So welcome to a woman's workshop. Perception of herself. For anybody that's listening, if you know anything about the Healing Center, I work with whiteboards. And if you can, get yourself a whiteboard. Get yourself a whiteboard that you can use dry erasers. You can use not only dry erasers, but you can use what is easy white. And we use a lot of colors because colors denotes or expresses feelings. I like green when I write. Green is a way of healing. Green is a way of growth. And anybody who's ever worked with me, if you ever have that question or that you all can hear me. And I'm here. My name is Nisi Robinson. And I am the speaker for the group session. We're going to work on all kinds of things. You're going to be so educated that you have no choice but to make and discover things you may have never known about yourself. Here's where you're going to find answers to yourself. And I want you women not to be afraid of it. When you hear this podcast today, when you go home today, here is what I'd like you to do. I would like for you, if you can, to pay it forward to someone that you love. What do I mean by that? Someone that you love. Well, every day should be a day of love. Not just because it's Valentine's Day or Valentine's week for many people. Are the ones that you think of most. So if you can think in your mind before we begin, because we're going to make just a couple more announcements, the people that matter to you, of the female, whether it be your sister, your grandmother, if she's still alive, if any of your loved ones are still living, please forward this to them at this time. Our number to call us directly, because we want to hear from you, and this is an interactive workshop. The interactive workshop is 1-888-721-9260. We also have our QR codes. And if you just want to, and not by take full advantage of, we want you to be able to do that. Yeah, glad. One of the things that I love, one of the things that I really love, is that the Healing Center has done the mind and the body healing. And because I know that there's many women out there, regardless of skin, ethnicity, religion, the way you were brought up, your culture, where you were born, where you live, your stature in life. To me, you are a woman. And we are talking to the women today. Why are we calling this a workshop? Well, when you think about work, you are required to come in expecting to work. What are we going to work on? That's right, ourselves. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to take away. We're going to learn from this point on. You all are invited, and please, if you can, please leave your donations. Every little bit helps. Even if you have $1, it will go into our second center. It is the Reflection Center. This is being recorded, this workshop. It's being recorded so that you all can listen to it. Maybe you couldn't get here today, but you really wanted to get here. Maybe that was really in your heart and in your mind that you wanted to get here. We're going to start out with empowerment. Why? Why is it that we need positivity? because there's so much that has literally made us feel one feeling or another. When can we become emboldened to believe what we will hear today? When can we become our best selves? Those are questions asked. And we want to talk about that because it's so important. When can we become believers in the things that we read? If you know, I'm a person of, I love, ever since I was a young girl coming up, I loved the Hallmark stores. Back in the day, they had Hallmark stores. I don't know if they still have them around anywhere, but I would go and spend hours. Today, I stand before you as a full-grown woman to tell you that I brought that as part of my program and being intentional with inspirational quotes. And many that have inspired us to think, to believe, to appreciate, to dare to become. And today I'm going to dare you to become the woman that you were meant to be. It is oftentimes that I use the superhero theory. Why do I do that? Because I feel that every woman has a hero that lives inside of herself. And we're going to talk about internal empowerment. But I want you to think about the first things that I said to you as I walk over to my whiteboard. And if you all have one, I want you to be just as gracious to write on your whiteboard. So here are some quotes, okay? Believe, okay? Believing in yourself is so important. How many of you believe in yourself? How many of you believe in yourself? You know, we walk around, if many of us are mothers here today, if there are any mothers, if there are any grandmothers, aunties, we tell our little ones, you can do it. When was the last time you said, I can do it? When was the last time? Being honest with yourself. How about this one? I'm possible. Much of the time it looks like this. I am P-O-S-S-I-B-L-E. But now, when you see it all together, it says impossible. So I'm going to put a dash between I'm possible. How many of you believe that about yourself as a woman? As a woman. Back in the day, women were insignificant when it came to being people who could become independent. Women were not to speak up or speak out. So if you couldn't speak up and you couldn't speak out, what does that mean? That you had no voice. No voice. We have become so modernized that even the woman who was born with the challenge of being muted at birth, or because of a birth defect, or just struggling with that. Now we have Braille in society today. We have ASL, American Sign Language. Then now almost nobody should be left without the possibility of using the language of communication. So when I say no voice, what am I saying? No communication. Now there is truth that there are ones who don't speak. But yet, through therapeutic resources, we have Braille, we have so many educational tools that it uses a voice. Back in the day when I first started teaching with the very young, I was introduced to a board that if a child had a brain injury and could no longer speak for themselves, this board, by this child manipulating this electronic pen, this voice could speak out. Why are you women to listen to this? Because we really go through a lot. We're going to talk about the no voice, no communication. Unless you are suffering from wanting to be mute or born with being mute, I want you to think about this in your communication styles. What have they been? Are you non-tolerant? Or is your tolerance without speaking up? And you've got to do this in a way that respects your dignity. Because, we all say we want to be respected. We want to be respected. We want people to hear us. We want our men to listen to our needs. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't speak for, how will you know? So, are you willing to ask for what you want? Know what you want. We want to think about your being able to speak up as if you're in all your feelings. Did we do this at one time? I don't know. What is your take on this? Because I want to tell you something. Sometimes we can be like a balloon that bursts. And they do burst. But how do we avoid this bursted emotion of overwhelmingness? We haven't had a voice. we haven't been accounted for. We're not living in the 1800s, the 1700s, and nobody is putting us on a tree to burn because we are women and we're not supposed to have a voice, quote, unquote. Now, if you're just coming in and you just heard what I said, we are not women who have no voice. Well, if we have no voice, let me talk to you. Why are we allowing tolerance? Tolerance. In other words, tolerance for how we're treated. Treated. As you know, if you come in here, my word gets written all over. You are allowed in here to take pictures, if you will. You're allowed to do that. And I think it's a great way to reference. So what are you tolerant? What are you tolerant of? What are you known for not tolerating? Putting up with? Today, many women, and I'm not going to go into statistics, because here's why. I am not a doctor. I am a certified life coach and counselor, a retired educator for the Army. Here's what I want you to know. The difference of putting up and not putting up with. Everyone. I want you women, if you've got your devices, please take your tablet, whatever your device is that you're going to write with, and you can even put a whiteboard on your phone. I work with whiteboards, so when you come in here, you can bring a whiteboard. Now, we tolerate how people treat us. See? We tolerate how we're treated. Let me show you why. Because in every song that has, or excuse me, I'm going to retract that, ladies and gentlemen. In certain rap songs, we tolerate being called the B word. Let me show you what we put up with. The H word. And for sake of any child listening, you all should know what we're saying. We hear that in some rap songs that may be very derogatory. The H word and the B word. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can write it on your board. You can write it in the comments. Why are we putting up with that? Why is that how we want to be viewed? Is that all that we think we are? Because see, right now, today, February the 13th, 2026, Friday, in this group center, baby, we have come a long way. And yeah, out of the thralls of cards, some of which you may be related to. Husbands, boyfriends, sons. And there we are, bobbing our heads to the B word and the H word. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you need to address yourself. If you've got a mirror, I would like for you to address your mirror. If you've got a phone, because I know you might say, well, I didn't bring a mirror. Now would be a good time for you, ladies and gentlemen, to pull out your mirrors. Are you a woman with no voice? Are you a woman that can't communicate? Are you a woman who continues to put up, if not engage in the behavior that we are seeing for 2026? Back in the day when we think about the way that maybe some of us grew up, we may have lived in households where dad worked and mom stayed at home and cared for the kids. And I don't want any of you, not in here or anywhere else on my program, to say, well, that's outdated. Because really, we've gotten away from that. And for those of you women who are out there and you're still taking care of the household and working, we applaud you with great honor. Because that takes a lot. You know, back in the day, women were to take care of the household, to tell dad what happened as soon as he got home. In fact, there was a program when I was a kid back in the 70s. It was a cartoon, and you could look it up. It was called Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. We are decades away from the year that I mentioned, and I'm aging myself, and guess what? I don't mind doing that. But as I've grown up, I noticed that the women are still playing these parts of they are to be seen and not heard. As you look into the mirror, what do you see? What do you see? I'm going to write it. Do you see about yourself? This is the mirror talk. And I like to try this talk. As you look inside of yourself, how are you perceiving yourself? I hear a lot of women say they're fine with themselves. That's easy to say. Everything's all well. everything's good, you look great on the outside, your hair is fixed. There are women of various hair color, women of various skin tone, women who dress very well everywhere they go. But I want to ask you this question. Are you okay with you? Just the way you are? Or do you need some semblance to make you into who you are striving to be? Who are you? Who are you? I want everyone to write their name. Who are you? Identify. Because we're going to do something that's going to make you really think. Or at least I hope so. This is the Healing Center. And that's why I opened it up on Fridays for the group. Many of you have seen this flyer rotating all week long. And there should be so many more in here. So many more out there. When you pull out the mirror and reflect yourself, who are you? How would you introduce yourself? My name is Nisi. I want everybody to write their name. I've identified myself when I say, who are you? That's great, because now we all have names. There are so many of us. Stephanie, Mary, Angela, Gabrielle, Ashley. Our list goes on and on. But what if there were two Stephanies in here? Or two Nisis in here? How are you identifying yourself? We're talking to the ladies. So what step would you go further? My name is Nisi. I like orange. I love orange. Orange is such a happy color. It makes me feel joyful. I love orange. And oh, by the way, orange sickles, popsicles, remember those? Yummy. I like crime shows. I like police shows. I love music. I have beliefs, standards, principles. See, are we going deep with this? Because, see, we wear our name all day long, even if nobody knows us. But now let me ask you, as you're looking into your mirror, the soul of your mirror, what are some of your core values? Core values? What you believe in. Do you know that about yourself? Core values. See, that goes under belief. Believe. I believe that the Healing Center has been successful. We've been 1 year. Core values are your beliefs. Now, being that I was raised as a child, we took on what our parents believed. And as we started to grow up, become independent, become our own woman, we started to do what is called growth, growing. Maybe we didn't do things the way our parents taught us. Maybe we decided to take some of this and some of that. You know, my mom is really big on vitamins. And I always tell my mom, you know, Mom, I'm not a vitamin person, but I do believe in herbs. See, I believe that because why? I've tried and I've tested. Are you that kind of woman that your core beliefs come from within yourself? Or do you even have what are core values? See, because when we have core values, it should sound like, I believe. Now, we're not done with that because I believe, if you have your name, I believe. What do you believe about yourself? I can do it. No, everybody that's in the room, in or outside of our workshop today, there is something that you can do, even if you haven't done it yet. For instance, let's talk about relationships. For many women who are battered, beaten, abused, feeling broken, despaired, no hope, what can you do? What is it that you can do? The scenario I just gave you, do you believe that you can change yourself in that relationship? A lot of people say, well, I can't change myself. I can't do it. I don't know, because this has been happening for so many years. But I'll change him. I can make him not be abusive to me. I can make excuses for him. But under that, I can do it. If you are a wounded woman, by any of the scenarios I just gave you, speaking of, I can do it. I want you to take your mirrors out again. Can you? Can you change that relationship? You know, sometimes we're committed to people who aren't committed to themselves. How many of you have ever heard of that? We are committed to people who are not committed to themselves. And if anyone like that is in our room or even online, can you make yourself better? We will read endless things, listen to endless people, give advice to people, and they're not worried about the advice because they're so busy spending so much time trying to change the other person. Let me talk to the women in the room. Stop doing that. One of the most empowering things that you can do is inspire yourselves. How do we do that? Inspire you. Because you will pour into other people. And why do we do that? Well, one of the scenarios out of many things that we do, one of the scenarios is that we feel like that's helping them. We will give free advice. We will give unsolicited advice to help someone else. But as you look into the face of that mirror, are you able to do it honestly? If you're in any type of relationship, are you committed to someone that is not committed to themselves? Are you in a relationship, to the women that I'm speaking to, and you believe that you can change someone, but you are not willing to work on yourself? When you discover things about yourself, your tolerance of what you no longer will put up with, your non-tolerance of what you won't accept anymore. You know, we're talking to the wounded women, if there are any in this, if there are any outside of the room. You say, but I don't know how. I've been in this relationship and I'm comfortable with it. Or you deny it altogether. I want you to pick up your mirror. Don't just sit there. Pick up your mirror. You need to download one. We'll even give you time to do that. But I know you hear me because you have ears. You are so committed, so trusting in this relationship because you're going to make him better. Don't worry, ladies. We're going to be talking about men or with men. Start inspiring yourselves. What is it that you can do? Do you want to be a better mom? Do you want to get a new job? Do you want to start reading the Bible? Do you want to change jobs? Do you want to make a decision that is going to be most healthy for you? Or are you still letting other people do it for you? See, there is no inspiration in that until you recognize that you should be the one to do it. Why? Because you believe in yourself. In yourself. You believe in yourself. What can you do? Now, are you impossible? Or are you saying to yourself as you look back at yourself, I'm possible? Today, on this day, I can truly say I'm possible. No matter what life hits at me, do I have good days, challenge days, bad days, worst days? Yes. But for all those days, I do have some good days where I can look at myself and say, I'm possible. I can do it again. If you've turned off your phone, that's your mirror too, by the way. I'm possible. There was a few years that I was not able to say that about myself. But if I'm giving myself truth, I'm possible to affirm about myself that I didn't give up on myself. And I want to tell you a story so that you guys understand where my background is. There was a time that I felt like I was impossible. Nothing I did mattered. It was a quite hard struggle. I've been through much help knowing that I'm not alone. I am not the only woman on the earth that has felt the pain of not being possible. Whatever your reason is. So you have to contrast. Why are you feeling that you're not possible? You have to look at our background. Our background. Consider your background. What have you been told? What lie has someone ever told you? Does it sound like this? You are not worthy. You're stupid. You're fat. You're dumb. If you leave me, no one else will want you. I'm the only person that wants you. What have you been told? See, it's easy for us to accept a lie. You know, because people lie all day long. And that's why we have workshops like this, so that you understand the truth from the lie. And you can consider yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm in the field of women and men who have said, I'm not worthy. Nobody's ever spent time with me. And I start to talk to them weekly, monthly. And so we get to the root. What is your background? What is your environment? How did you grow up? Did mom or dad have any part in making you feel like you weren't worthy? Or everything you do, nobody considered. And let's even go back to the considered relationship that you're in, that you may think it's going to get better because you're going to do the work to make it better. And your non-committal partner is going to do nothing to make it better, because why? He's already told you that everything that is in that relationship that is negative, somehow, some way, it's your fault. Are you believing that? Has he gaslighted you? Or she? What has happened? Because you just didn't wake up and start to feel like, I've got no voice. No one's ever asked me or ever asked me what I will put up with. Nobody's ever told me that I believe in myself. I didn't have that kind of upbringing. I've got that too. But ladies, I want to tell you today that you are someone. No matter what your background is, this workshop is to empower you, is to enlighten you, is to make you the best you that you could possibly be in the women's workshop. Many of you didn't come because why? You were afraid of something. I don't feel like I have to put free gifts, raffle tickets, because if you are committed and invested in yourself, you would come and see what this is all about. And we only put a donation price on this because it goes back into our healing center. And the Antelope Valley does not have enough of this for the mental and emotional people that need to be possible, that want to be possible. So I want you to think about, how did I get wounded? See, you consider your background wounded. Who wounded you? So this is why I like the Healing Center, because it asks the question, who, what, where, and why. Who, what, where, and why. And I want to talk to women who are out there life coaching and you haven't gotten an answer to yourself. You need the healing first. I couldn't possibly stand here before you in my office if I didn't have the answers. Your wounds. What happened? Where did it happen? And why? I had someone that, unbeknownst to me, was coming in our podcast, and I finally was able to get her to do a session or two. And what I found out is that person had been molested. Don't worry, they let me know that it's okay to talk about it, because I won't talk about it. But I want you to be aware of something. Why was that person not aware? Because everybody that she'd ever told didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. And when she described to me what had happened to her since the age of 7, it clicked like a light bulb. But you see, my job is not to tell her or use the women. You're getting wounded. You're getting beat up. It should trigger something in you. Wow, I thought. So I had her stop as she was telling me the story. I needed to pause for a moment. Because sometimes here we are, we don't realize what actually is happening to us, because why? We don't consider our background. We don't consider wounded, because we say, well, we're this age and it doesn't affect us. I say to you today, woman, if you are wounded, if you are broken, that's the opposite of healing. We talk about it. You say it's not my future. And you're right. Some of you are amazing women. I want all of you to be amazing. Why do I say some? Because many of you have been victimized and not even noticed. But you don't need me to tell you, oh, that took place, because a lot of these higher professionals, and I dare not tell you not to go, because that's how I'm in the seat I'm in, because of someone who took the time. Some buddies that helped me. So if you need that help, you get that help. What I am here to tell you is that unless you find out who, what, why, where, there's no healing. All you've done is swept. You didn't sweep it out of the room. You swept it under the carpet. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, a healing must take place. A healing of a different sort. A healing of acceptance, awareness, discovery. You're being able to process. And I want to write this so that we understand. Acceptance, awareness, acknowledgement, and process. Why? Because we can build a picture, a mind picture, and say, wow, I got through that. I'm no longer a victim. I've been victorious because I survived. Whatever it is that wounded or hurt you, come a little closer, as I say in my podcast. Whatever it is that has wounded you, I want you to give yourself permission. Because you're not that. I want to go back to the person after the person told me the story. I had her honestly think about it. And I'm not going to go into description. But she didn't even know that she was being trafficked. She never processed that until one day I asked her to sit and think. That's deep. And there are people. Today is the Women's Workshop. We're taking the step of working on ourselves. And really I'm going back because this is where we start. We start to accept. Yes, that happened. We don't deny. We don't forever keep on and have mental blocks, because that does happen when it's too painful. We don't ignore. We don't say, well, that didn't really happen. we speak truth. When we look at ourselves, and I want to tell you about the mirror, people, women, ladies. When we're looking into that mirror, we're giving ourselves permission to be accessible to our own selves. Because if I ask you to pass your mirror, who's going to be the person looking into the mirror? Why, the person that just looked into it. It would be the person next to you. But I'm asking you to access yourself. That's what I like about the mirror. It's work. It's not just one time when we look at ourselves. Why is that not the easiest for us? Here's why it's not the easiest for us. It isn't the easiest for us because here's why. Every day we look at our external self. Why, it's easy to see if I've got sleep in my eye, boogers in my nose, runny nose, messed up hair, dirty shirt. So we make adjustments, right? Because we see it spot on. And maybe sometimes we've missed it. I've had one person that I know that comes to work and gosh, toothpaste is running down his beard or toothpaste is running down her mouth or she's got a dirty dress on because she kept herself. I haven't saw that. Because why? I am the first person that looks at me when I wake up. Some of us go out the house and you look at yourself and you won't make the adjustment. Got those two, and I hope it's not anybody that's in here or out there. I want you women, you ladies, to present yourself in a way that you are eye candy to you. What does that mean? You know, us women, when we see a good-looking man, we kind of glance. We might even stare from far away because we know what we like. I want you to know something about yourself. I want you to know, have knowledge of knowing you. How do you know me? I told you my name. Many of you may have already forgotten. I told you some things. But knowing you is again identity. Everywhere you go, you are known by your identity. Lately, because everywhere we go, we got to have a real driver's license, one that is, because there's so much going on, people want to know you. They need your ID. So you present your ID, but does that mean that they know you? No, they need to have a form of a sense of, are you real? Now you've got to have if you live in California or anywhere else, they are talking about real identification. So you know the person, but now knowing you, knowing what your dislikes, your tolerance, knowing that I got voice, knowing that I can step up, I can speak up, I can, I can, I can, I can. Getting to know yourself is a really great thing. Getting to know you. So, know you, yourself. Because we can talk about everything else, right? We can talk about everything under the sun. Even after that, we can talk about everything else under the moon, under the stars, and it circles back around. But getting to know yourself is part of your wellness. Checking into yourself, believing that just because your name is Mary, there might be 4 other Marys in the room. But now you've got to identify yourself from that Mary. Because you're not that Mary. You might have similarities. You are a woman. The way you see yourself is vital to your well-being. Have you ever had anybody step into a room, any woman, and I'm going to talk to the ladies for a moment because in some cultures there might be other women who are immediately jealous because another woman is in the room and she's getting all the attention. And you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, how is she getting all the attention? And I walked in and nobody ever said that about me. You know, this is not called Light Talk Facing the Lion Healing Center for nothing. Because it's a feeling, it's an energy that you feel about your inner woman. So don't get upset because someone has walked in the room and her energy spells, I believe I'm possible. I can do it. Because sometimes we get that. Who does she think she is? You don't know what that woman has been through. And that woman doesn't know what you've been through. So don't get mad at her because she believes in herself. That she is possible and she can do it. Get inspired. There's been so many women throughout history that has inspired us. I'm going to read some quotes I think that you guys are really going to enjoy as you stand there or sit there as a woman. Here's one. I'm not going to read names, but I am going to read the people by their quotes. And it is to you, women, that are sitting here today. Here's one. No matter where you are on your journey, that's exactly where you need to be. The next road is always ahead. This woman is widely known. Here's one. Just one moment. I have found that among its other benefit, giving liberates the soul of the giver. The unselfish effort to bring cheer to others will be the beginning of a happier life for ourselves. Here's one. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping other people. These are all by women throughout our history. Here's hope. There's always light. If only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. Love this one. You must never be fearful about what you are doing when it is right. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is a little voice at the end of the day that says, I'll try again tomorrow. These are all quotes by very famous people that we maybe not have met personally. Maybe you have. But here's the important message. They've inspired us by their acts. You can be inspirational. I want you, before you log off, I want you to be able to think about today's workshop. Have I worked you enough? See, because it does me no good to tell you who you are. It does me no good to tell you to leave the person that has wounded you. It does me no good to tell you to spend all your energy in every waking day of your life to talk about him or talk about her. What I will but how you view yourself. Because however you view yourself is what others will see. They'll see it in your walk, they'll see it in your talk, they'll see it in the decisions you make. And they'll see it in the way you feel. So I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to be inspired because you can do it. And I want you to always think about, I'm possible. We didn't spend enough time on wounded women because every woman today that's going to listen has been wounded in some way or another. And don't tell me you haven't been. You want to work on yourself? Be truthful. You know the amazing thing? And I want to have some feedback if I can. The amazing thing about today, I had you use some tools. Do you remember what they were? One was a dry eraser, a whiteboard. Do you remember the color that I was using? Green, which stands for healing growth, right? We used a mirror. Yeah. I use my voice. If you're listening now and you've heard me with your heart, and if you are hearing impaired, I want you to be able to find a way, your way, into making it by transcript, having it read to you because you can do that, all of this comes with transcripts. Anything you put on social media, if you're putting it on for podcast and you're putting it on for a group like we do here, you can get it read to you for the hearing impaired. What do we come away with? I'd love to hear your feedback. I know you all are hearing it. I want to thank you, first of all, for being a part of this beautiful, beautiful workshop. We didn't just put it on the air. It's been long thought out. If you want more from Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, all you have to do is go to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is turn on your notifications. A lot of people want to know when are we on, and we're not on every day of the week we used to be. And it'll let you know what our newest podcast is. This is being recorded so that there's so many others out there who don't even live in our country. And guess what? They get to hear it. Our call-in number is 1-888-721-9260. Every Friday, we have a group session. We decided to do a special workshop on women. This is only the first of its kind. We will take a while and we will talk about it. And I, again, will put out a notice so that you will be aware of it. I want you to send it to every female that you know. And we will have a men's workshop. I'm not one who just puts things out there without thinking. I had somebody tell me 2 weeks ago, and I really appreciated their thoughts. They said, we listen in. I listen in when I'm calm because your podcast keeps me calm. And I love the way they proceeded to say, I love the way that you have it all laid out. It's thought about. And that's all we want. We want you to go away feeling like that was well thought out. If you see our QR code, you might want to check it out because it leads you to so much. Don't be afraid. If you have questions about today, I will take your questions. I go back, I see if anyone has listened, say hello to me, put up your, and that's what I was trying to say earlier, but I don't think it came out. To put up your electronic hand, let us know where you're listening from. If you're in California, don't give us a whole address. We don't want that. We want you to stay safe when using the internet. Say hello to us. And let us know you're out there. Thank you for this woman's workshop on a woman's perception of herself. We've been advertising it, and send it to someone you love. Have a good day. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. And after this, we will send it to be, actually, it will be on our YouTube channel. So you'll have it there. Thank you so much. And we hope that next Friday, the group session will go back to its men and women meet together, and we'll talk about emotions, and it'll be various subjects. And make sure, guys, when you come to group session that you have a whiteboard. I do have some here. If you guys don't mind, I would love for you to donate whiteboards. I try to pick up as many as I can because I know that we have group sessions. And if you want a personal session, do yourself a favor. Just call, schedule an appointment. Friday's a good day because it's the end of the week. We want you to be able to come in. You don't have to have an appointment. Just show up at 11:30. We ask that you get here a few minutes early because we have a seating room available for you. And we never know. We want to, if you want to, I'm going to tell you the donations are for, let's say, we want you to stay for lunch so that we can feed you. I'm not rich, but I think it's for a good cause. All the money, any money by your donations is going directly into our healing center. And if you want to send gift cards for that too, we'll take that. And make sure that you're sending it to the healing center. Let's say you want to mail something, 1317 East Palmdale Boulevard, Suite 18, and it's going to be on the Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast and healing center. We'll take gift cards too because we know that they work. We want to build this, and we don't want this to just be a stepping stone to just Palmdale and Float Valley, but we want to be able to build franchises because there's so many people that need this type of help, not just women. So we want to make sure that you guys know that our group is not always just for women. Next week we go back to men and women coming here. And if you're serious, we want you to come. There are signs. I'm in the process of putting new signs up. So just run your QR code. We are so happy that you guys listen to us. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, you can text me at 661-795-0475. You can text me at any time. You also can get on our Direct Connect. Both of those are Direct Connect and available to you. You can leave a message there. And with both numbers, the 1-888-721-9260, you might want to let me know that you've left a message, okay? Because I don't always get them like I should, and then your message is waiting. Or you can go and Direct Connect with me. We want to say hi to all of you. If you can't get here, and let's say you have transportation problems and you really want to take this class, it's accredited, or this group session, it's accredited, and I will sign off on it. Let's say, you're mandated to take this. I will sign out and you get a certificate for going. All you have to do is tell me, and you do that in private. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. You can sit and listen. We have a lot of people who listen and don't talk, and then we have everybody who wants to talk at one time. I want to thank you. My name is Nisi Robinson. I am the facilitator of our group classes, our individual sessions. If you'd like to have one and you're serious, I want you to come because I know that I needed something like this and we didn't have it here when I was going through a lot. I want to thank you ladies for being interested in this. You know, we put the flyer out, and I had people who said, oh yeah, I'm interested. And no shows. We don't want you to think you might be interested. We want you to know that you've been interested. And everything speaks for itself. And I want to thank you guys. You can always drop something off if they're a way of donations. Any stores that might be listening to us, we're not afraid to ask if they want to sponsor the Healing Center because we think it's a good cause, and we never use the money for our own purpose. That QR code that you see is in our business Vibe Talk Facebook. Yeah, every little bit helps, and we'll show you what we've done. We like to have snacks, waters. Just make sure that if you want to drop something off at my office, that you call me to let me know you're doing it, because I live here in the town that you're going to drop it off. Let's say there are some people out here. We appreciate your donations, and we'll send you an acknowledgement letter for doing so. And it doesn't have to be much. Every little bit counts. We do hope that this has inspired you lady, woman, whether you are a parent, mom, grandmother, aunt, sister, niece. If I forgot anybody, please correct me. This will go out, and I want you to pay it forward. That's the least that you can do, because there are some women that really need this today. You have questions for me, please put it in the box. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful Friday. And please be safe, and make sure that you believe in yourself. This has been the woman's perception of herself. And thank you for joining us.